In today's Freedom Model Quick Lesson, I'm going to talk about why addiction is not a disease and why that's so important. There's been a ton of research over the last 100 years. And there is no credible research that supports the idea that people cross an imaginary line where they lose control of their substance use. Sure, people feel out of control. I felt out of control at one point in time. And it's so interesting to me because I was a daily drug user for probably 3 to 4 years when I was in my most formative years from the age of 19 to 22. And at one point, I got to the point where I didn't want to use drugs anymore. I got tired of them. And I thought, I'm gonna put that away. Now, I was a daily drinker as well. I didn't want to quit drinking. But I did, when I was ready to quit my drug use, I quit. Even having the addict identity, which I had from a very young age. I was told from a very young age that if I ever drank or drugged, I'd be an addict. But when the time came that I got tired of the drug use, I stopped. That did not occur to me with respect to my drinking until I got tired of that too. For the last 6 months of my drinking, I drank night and day. From the moment I got up to the moment I went to bed, I was drinking. If I was going to be an alcoholic, I was all in. And then I got to a day where I was feeling crappy, and I physically was ill. I was alcohol poisoned. I had the alcohol bloat going on. My stomach was sick all the time. I had an ulcer. I was sick all the time. And I was 22 years old. And on that particular day, I didn't drink. I didn't feel good. I didn't want it after spending months drinking. And I thought I had the flu, but what I had was I went through withdrawal. I was shaky. I was very ill, throwing up, all the wonderful stuff that goes with detoxing from alcohol. And I quit that too. When I got to the point that I didn't want it, that I couldn't see any benefits in doing it, I stopped. And then 5 days later, I went to my first AA meeting. And the cognitive dissonance of that is stark now that I can look back and see it. I thought I had to go to AA to quit drinking because I'm an alcoholic, right? I thought maybe there's not a disease, but I was definitely somebody that was out of control and should never drink alcohol ever again. I had taken on that belief system. Now, at the same time, I watched my grandmother, who was dying of cancer. And I knew there was a difference between my drinking and her cancer. Clear as day. So I went to AA. I swore off alcohol forever. I participated. As much as I wasn't willing to admit that I had truly been powerless, as much as I wasn't willing to call myself an alcoholic, I didn't see the benefit in doing that. I did for a period of time to fit in because I'm not somebody that likes to, I don't like confrontation. I don't want to, rock the boat. So I participated. And I'm not, I look back on that time period, that the 7+ years I went to AA meetings, and it's a little bit embarrassing. It was terribly damaging. But here's the thing. If addiction was actually disease that rendered people powerless over ingesting substances, then nobody would ever stop. Not because they're sick, not because they're tired of it, not because they're bored with it, not because they want to go to detox or rehab, not because they had to go to court or go to a job interview. Nobody would ever stop for any reason not to sleep. I mean, yeah, you'd pass out. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't people that dive in and do this, that hole up in their house or a hotel or something and drink themselves into oblivion. But even those people take a break. By and large, they take a break from substance use. And that wouldn't be possible. So right now, I'm just appealing to logic. Now, here's the other part of this. When people look at the freedom model and they think, they're telling me that that's not a disease and people aren't powerless, well, then you must be saying that people are bad or immoral or evil or self-absorbed or self-centered to such an extreme that they would use substances to the exclusion of all other things in their life. And we're not saying that either. Not at all. There's no judgment here. It's human nature to want to escape. It's human nature to want to alter your consciousness or alter, you know, have that little tickle in the brain. To feel different. That's why people go on vacation. So it's part of being human. And creating habits is also part of being human. So no, we're not saying it's neither thing. That's the false dichotomy. It's either a disease or people are bad. It's neither of those things. Sometimes people develop habits that don't serve them well anymore. And you can solve your substance use habit just like you resolve any other habit, just like you change. You can change your mind about what you love or like about your substance use. And that's what the freedom model is all about, is helping you to see through the ruse, learn exactly what addiction is and what it isn't, learn exactly what substances can and can't do for you. Because a lot of times our habits are built around illusions that aren't real. We perceive that there are benefits in that substance, in the way we are using that substance, that aren't real, which I got to tell you, it's a bittersweet thing when you find out it's not doing all those things. But it's incredibly freeing. And that's my freedom model quick lesson for today.